This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Wren, joined by Ryan Daniels and Xavier Ellis, gentlemen.
Okay.
Mailbag. Oh, quickly before we get in, we forgot to mention yesterday we have cracked over 2 million downloads.
Oh, really? When
the
did
show.
we crack that?
Oh, we
Ages
weren't
ago.
paying attention. It was
It's been
quite a
a
while
while
ago now. Anyway, thank you very much to everybody who's listening,
We're almost at
et cetera,
3
et
million.
cetera. Yeah, probably close. We're all over it.
All right. This episode is brought to you by Woodside Energy, a proud major sponsor of the Fremantle Football Club, supporting local footy from grassroots to greatness. Matt, Freo's loss, the one they had to have, or did they just shit the couch on their finals chances?
I'm not sure you need a loss this late in the season when you're fighting for top 8.
I don't think they need any losses at the moment. But it was just they got done. They're just not as good as Sydney.
Sydney going to beat some top 8 sides coming
the
home.
G.
I think that was just the game.
SCG.
It was a close loss. They could have won it. They lost. Sydney were favourites.
Their best player had a mare.
That game pretty much
That's
played
right.
out the way it was going to play out.
Yeah.
A win would have been big for them.
It wasn't unexpected.
Do you know what? I turned the commentary off yesterday, put it on mute, spat my coffee in the... I wasn't having coffee, I was having a beer at the Sporting Globe, just chugging a couple back. When one of the commentators said, you know what? Fremantle are in this. Fremantle are a chance to win. It was the last quarter, there was 1 point in it. 1 point in it.
And the Sporting Globe lets you put it on mute. That's it.
He's a regular.
It's
I
got
walked
the
up and I
remote.
just smashed every TV. I can't have it. There is one person who I can't have these days.
I'm not going to comment, okay?
Did you the other day?
Huh?
Did you weigh in on them?
No, did I?
Have you
Give
got
us your ranking of commentators, right?
I'm not doing that. Okay, Matt. Is it the same Matt? Different
When are
Matt?
you going to wear a turtleneck at the footy?
Oh, that was funny by Tommy Liberatore. That was good gear.
After draft night back in 2021, Jared Healy said he was confused on St Kilda's selection of Naziah Wanganeen-Miller over Josh Sin. Hasn't this turned out to be one of the all-time worst takes of all time? And when will Freo sack JL? Jeez, okay, that's a pivot.
That's a bit of a pivot.
Jeez, you know what? They've just won 6 in a row. They go to Sydney, they lose a close game. The amount of Fremantle fans who just immediately go,
Sack him.
oh, he's got to go now. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, I get it. You might not be perfectly happy with it, but settle down.
Correct.
Settle down. They just won.
There's a lot of trauma in the
6
fan
a row.
base. There is a lot
This
of
is
trauma.
the problem. They are triggered by everything. That is a bad take, isn't it? Poor Jared.
Yeah, you
That
don't
is,
wanna take
but
that one
they
back.
always.
Well,
that is a bad
I
take.
do
yes.
remember that draft, though, and when they picked him, everyone went, what? Like it was
Sin
10 picks too early
I
or
remember
something?
watching Sin's vision, and he was hooking onto that. He's a left footer, isn't
Yeah.
he? Going through the corridor.
I think
at Etihad, playing for Victoria or Vic Country, whatever he was, and he looked lethal. Sin looked like a player.
Yeah, Wanganeen-Miller was always the best kick in the draft, but there were other worries.
So
They've just proven
they
not
could
to
have had
be-
Sin and they took the Saint.
Oh, Saints
Frank,
and sinners.
hey legends, why do you
Ken.
think there are a lack of good games this year? I remember a few years ago, can't recall the exact year, but a record was broken where we had a heap of games decided under 10 points. The gap between the top 9 and the bottom 9 seems larger than ever. Why do you think this is? Love the pod. Yeah, I tend to agree.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any reason for it. I think we're just in the middle of a perfect storm where we've got 3 really teams that aren't up to it. We've got another 5 teams that are not quite realising that they're not up to it, but they aren't up to it.
Yeah.
And then you've got Sydney who are in a weird gap. They are in a gap year.
They are, yes.
And then the top 9, like if you look at Fremantle, GWS, Gold Coast, and even the Western Bulldogs, those teams have kind of been building to this with the young talent they've been bringing in for a while. And then the top 4 is the top 4.
And I would say too, with the
Adelaide,
the 5 bye rounds, were spread pretty thin for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Where typically you can hide a West Coast game or a on a doubleheader Saturday night or whatever. You can hide 1 or 2 with an overlap on a Sunday. But Rhino, this is for you at working with 7 and doing a wonderful job. The draw: Carlton play this Thursday night, then Essendon play the Thursday night, then Carlton play the Thursday night. Essendon play the Friday night there. Then we go over to 22. We've got Essendon again on a Friday night. Then we go Essendon on a Friday night again.
Nice.
Then we go to 24. Hasn't been confirmed. What position do 7 have as the people paying the bills to say, hang on, you need to be able to adjust these on the run?
I think you will find that teams like Essendon and Carlton rate very
Still
well.
get an audience.
They get a big audience.
Do they?
Yep.
Not
Like above-
anyone who's not an Essendon fan and stuff won't watch.
You would get more people watching a Carlton Essendon game. Oh, that's probably a bad
Yeah.
example. An Essendon North Melbourne game
All right, so
than you would getting a Gold Coast GWS game, which you think might be a better game. You just wouldn't.
Yeah, because it's not for the. I mean,
well, Thursday night is Essendon Giants.
Yep.
That's
So
not a good example.
Essendon's carrying that.
Then Essendon Dogs.
Essendon and Dogs. Essendon
Draw
will carry
poorly. Dogs draw poorly still.
Yep.
Then you got Essendon v Geelong.
that. Big one.
It's going to be on. Like no one's
Yeah.
watching these after. And then
Well,
St Kilda,
it's-
St Kilda
you're-
Essendon.
But you're assuming that the Essendon fans themselves have checked out.
they're still watching.
Yeah, but
it.
you're not getting anyone on a Friday night.
Free-to-air footy's not for the purists.
It was a disaster. It was a disaster. What is it? 10 years ago, where Carlton played 12 Friday nights,
know.
and the numbers were a
Mate,
disaster.
I agree with you, but I think you'll find that
Oh,
those clubs still draw.
But we don't have evidence too. We don't put those good games on. Like that weekend I'm looking at right now, there is on a Saturday at 11:20, Bulldogs v Adelaide.
Yeah.
And then that day at
Let me put it-
2:15, there's Giants
Yeah.
Geelong.
Let me put it this way to you. If we opened up and said, right, here's the fixture, here's the last 10 rounds, it's going to a fan vote, you choose. This is the round, picks the
Still be-
Thursday
but
night.
you-
But is this
No,
what-
it's going to be Collingwood,
Yeah.
it's going to be Essendon, it's going to be Carlton, it's going to be the big supported clubs, most of them the Victorian ones, because they have the most fans. They just do. The most rusted on.
It's so disheartening looking at those
I
games.
agree with you. But bills have to be paid.
Yeah, no,
Like,
but
at the end of the
I
day,
would have
like,
thought that the numbers would
If
be
you're
outweighed in a
going to
good
be
game.
7 off Fox, and you're going to go to the advertiser and go, hey, we've got this awesome game. It's GWS and it's Gold Coast. This could
But I'm not
decide,
asking for that.
No, this could decide the top 8. And they go, okay, cool. Well, how many people watched it? 100,000.
It's
Okay,
a
well, we've got
valuable
this
audience.
dog shit game between Essendon and North Melbourne that everyone hates, but 1 million people watched it.
Yeah, I-
Then if
I
you're
need to see
McDonald's
evidence
or
on
Amy
this.
or whoever else, you're going to go, well, give me that one. It's just more eyeballs.
I get that, but I need more evidence that the eyeballs are tuning into Carlton and Essendon these days.
Okay, Brody, if you were
Yeah,
given a
righty.
free $100 bet on who's going to win the flag right now, who are you taking? Free, I'm taking Hawthorn.
If it's free, I'm going.
I've said
Dogs.
this. I just reckon the momentum's going to come hard if they can get their shit together.
I am taking the
Because it's a free bet.
Dogs.
So this
Yeah.
isn't who you think's going to win. This is
Taking
a
the
free
Dogs.
money bet. What are the odds?
Let me get onto the odds. Collingwood favourites, Geelong second favourites,
Yeah, what is the money, though?
340, 550, Brisbane sixes, Doggies eights,
Yeah.
Adelaide nines, Giants 15s, Fremantle 23s, Suns 26.
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't mind having a nibble at the Giants at 15s.
You seem to be on them. Okay, James, g'day, big canvas. I didn't watch the Freo game, but going through the stats, it looks like another subpar performance from Amiss. How many more weeks does he get in the ones? Also, keep nailing the coffee sip in your vids, Rinny.
Hey,
Yeah, look, I understand the Amiss stuff. All I was asking was, is his role a role that you can actually
I
get
played
numbers
AFL
in?
for 11 years, and I never saw a role where it didn't involve touching the football.
There was heaps of. What about Chris Marston in that famous premiership role for West Coast, where he was just Chris run away from the ball?
I don't think Chris had 0 touches.
I mean, he was playing on the wing. It's
I think his
different.
role is
Like-
also to, if he gets a free kick in the last quarter of a tight game, 30 metres
No,
out.
no, no. I'm not even talking about
Kick
that.
it in the middle.
But also, when they're playing so tall, did you see the tackles inside 50 yesterday?
Yeah,
Like 8 to 30
And
or
it can
something.
bounce out
Like
on bad
pressure.
days for
Yeah.
Freo, bounces out of there.
No, I'm willing to go and say maybe it's time. Give him a couple of weeks.
I see and
But
Voss
I don't.
subbed instead of
but
Amiss.
I will say I don't think the role has been friendly to his emergence. I'll say that. I think the
Yeah, but I'd
biggest,
also say if he was kicking goals, his role would be
the biggest reason for Jye Amiss' regression has been Josh Tracy's ascension.
and Pat Voss's.
Yeah.
Pat Voss's inclusion. Yeah. Brody, that's done. Mitchell, hey guys, I think it's time someone does a full investigation into what exactly are the incriminating photos Jye Amiss has of Ryan. No other explanation for Ryan to constantly defend him. I'm just a glass half full guy. Okay.
For Freo.
For everyone. Just track how I talk about everyone.
Mate, you've put a line through Bailey Smith.
I did not. This is a voice message from Luke.
Hey guys, Luke here, back from my sabbatical. I was actually banned from abusing Ruckman as Andrew Dillon sent me a message, said I needed to stop as it was bad for the Ruckman's mental health around the league. On that note, I'll go at someone else this week. In round 20, why is there 2 games on the Sunday, one starting at 1:40 and the other at 2:45 Adelaide time? So 2 games within an hour. Like, what sort of fixturing is this? Actual joke. Actually, it's probably the Ruckman's fault because they're all idiots anyway, and that's probably the guy who did it, so cheers.
I must admit, it's not hard. 2 Friday night games overlapping, and then on Sunday you've got such an open space. You can't. A footy game typically goes for 2 hours 40, 2 hours 50. Just make the window 3 hours and there won't be any overlap.
It's so weird, isn't it?
Well,
It'd be to catch the news.
Yeah, so 7 have that game. They wanted it starting at this certain time.
That's
leading
their
to the
game.
news.
They
So
lock that in.
That time's blocked. And then, but I think the league then fixtures all these interstate sides. Oh, well, you can't play them because it's too early for them. So like
Freo
Fremantle.
playing at
No,
11.
that's-
Adelaide playing someone.
That's bullshit. They haven't stopped. Freo played Geelong round 2 or round 1
Yeah,
or
I know,
whatever.
which
and
is worse.
Which was a 6 a.m. out of bed job.
Yeah.
No, they don't take that. They just to pick their times. And it should be a rule. There's just no overlap and it can be avoided.
Do you reckon we could do a better fixture?
Mate, 1,000%.
Should we do one?
On
No, I haven't got time for that.
for ChatGPT.
Get ChatGPT to do as a fixture.
Well, I'll just give them one tip. On a Sunday, 2 games, start 1 at 1 and 1 at 4. Or 12 and 3.
When's
That'll
the
help.
last time we had a guest on this? Should we bring Josh Bowler on?
Benjamin, I think it's time we give Ruben Ginbey some flowers. Turned himself into one of the best young defenders in the league. Rated above average in tackles, rebound 50s, contested possessions, and a leading 1%ers and intercepts. A lot of hype around Cadman taking pick 1 in the same draft, but would argue that Ruben is a better defender than Cadman is a forward, just playing in a far worse team. Absolutely. Ruben
Well,
Ginbey has had an outstanding... He'll be second in their BNF.
He gets a lot of
It's
it.
Liam
He
Baker
gets more
and
of
then
a
it's him.
chance to get those numbers.
I was going to say, it's easier to be a full back than it is to be a full forward.
He's been good, mate.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
You
hasn't
hate
he?
Ruben Ginbey. You
No,
have
I-
since
no,
the
no.
day he was picked.
I didn't like him as a midfielder, and guess what? Proven right.
Mm-hmm.
As a full back, athletic, I like it.
He's been very good.
Yeah.
I like it as
but
a
it's
full
just,
back.
do you want to spend pick 7 on a full
Do you get nervous? Well, if he is,
Oh, if he's elite,
if he's a great fullback, absolutely.
Yeah.
The kicking action is a bit. How do you do? How high he raises it. It's a bit how do you do? But the athletic fullback, much harder though to be a Cadman at full forward than it is to be a fullback.
Is it? Okay.
Much harder.
Ryan, this is from Ryan. Can we get the original null incident replayed, please?
No.
Maybe a few times. Tar, and I believe we have the audio.
Since 2018, 24 Western Australians drafted out of the waffle to West Coast. Now, these are the names. Luke Foley, Jared Cameron, Ben Johnson, Callum Jamison, Isaiah Winder, Jack Williams, Brady Hoff plays.
He's going to do it.
Greg Clark, Rhett Bazzo, Ruben Ginbey,
Here it comes.
Elijah Hewitt, Hamish Davis, Clay Hall, Bo Allen, William Collins, Null, Connor West, Ryan Burrows, Harry Edwards.
No. That's not.
Is that
I'll
not
give
a name?
no.
I'll
No,
give you
that's not a
$100
name. That's
bucks.
just-
I'll give you $100 to delete that audio. But my point's.
Hold on, I didn't get to finish it.
Oh.
I missed the end of that.
I can't go back to it now.
You just talked over the end.
I would say
That is magnificent.
As I've said, Null listed as a draftee from Swan Districts. I'm not ruining my career on cancelling a kid called Null.
I love how you didn't even hesitate, though. You just,
No, I did
and you
hesitate.
just read him straight through.
But I was just looking at the bucket of shit I was reading out.
He's on, and shout out to Real Null on
There's
Instagram
real Null.
as
There's
well.
an Instagram page now from Null.
It's just so good. I think we need to play that every week.
I play that every week. I'm wrestling.
Stuff the new intro song. We'll just play that.
No.
Alex, hey lads, left field trade scenario for Freo. Given they missed out on Cozzy and might move Darcy on, I reckon they should make a Godfather offer for Sam Taylor, local boy who would further enhance their great defence. Thoughts? I feel it's negligent to not try and do something big with that sort of cash free. Are there any wings or half backers they could also target instead?
No, Sammy Taylor's got a long deal, doesn't he?
He does have a long deal.
Sam Taylor is contracted to the end of 2032.
Yes, so that's not going to happen. Geez, he'd be nice though, wouldn't he? Yeah, look, they got the money. Freo have been flexible with their creativity and they've gone, okay, well, if we've got all this money but we can't use it, let's pay people now rather than later. So they might front end a bunch of those contracts, free up the money for the next time when Chad becomes available again or whatever. But yeah, I could see if you're a Freo fan, you're like, just go spend it now. We want a player in now. So
Sam Taylor's extremely happy at
I doubt you can even get a conversation there. Dean, Dogs run home is Marvel, Gabba, Marvel, MCG, Marvel. Poor Melbourne's teams don't get a home ground advantage, but laughing emoji, Dogs fan living in WA. It is fucking ridiculous. I cannot deal with it anymore about how uneven the draw is.
Oh, now you've lost it.
Well, it's just every year it just feels like it gets worse. We're seeing the gap widen on these things. It's just getting out of control. Jaden,
The Dogs go, round 23 West Coast at Marvel into Freo in Marvel.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often, two WA sides.
Geez,
over
that's
same
nice.
opponent,
They're
same
set up
ground.
for a big finish, aren't they, the Doggies? Yeah. This is
top
Jaden
four.
on voice message.
G'day, gents. I'm just wondering if teams are in a rush to be successful these days. I'm just looking at Gold Coast, Sydney, and even Freo. Their core players are, 24, 25. Just wondering if when they're 27, 28, 29, the teams will be a whole lot better. I just feel like they have to be more patient and, not in such a rush to be successful and being worried of losing your Chad Warners, Matt Rao, or even Andrew Brayshaw last year. I feel like teams like Geelong, Collingwood, and even West Coast's last premiership, they had an older core group. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Cheers.
Oh, I need a cigarette. Jaden, that was so good. It's f***ing right.
Yeah.
I know I'm dropping a lot of F-bombs today.
That's okay. I like
That was
it.
actually bang on.
Teams need to be in a rush to abort quicker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Need to
at
be
the other end of the
far
scale.
quicker to go, this is not us, we need to get out and start again, or try and... Teams need to be a rush to do that. Then, how many times have clubs proven that they were right by holding on? Never. How many times you go, oh, shit, lucky they did keep this bloke who can't play for
They won
another
the
3
flag,
years and never played. But they need to be quicker doing that. Rush, maybe, but I still reckon when you're in the time to fire, and that is when you're in the top 6, 7, 8, you need to throw everything at it because very, very quickly you're just gone out the other side.
Yeah, I think he's right. The patience is there for those three in particular. Like they're young, just let it grow. This is from A. Kent. I think he's being a little clever.
Go on.
Noticed a peculiar registration in the VAFA this week, registering with his old mate Hawkins to be eligible for the old Melburnians. What mood are the Calves going to be in after the game? And this is the register: Xavier Ellis, West Coast, in brackets, Perth Football League, Old Melburnians, VAFA approved. June 30 was approved. So what is going on here? You're playing in a game of football.
Yeah, that was a bit naughty. No, I had to get transferred because it was the last day transfers can happen or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a cut-off.
Yeah, it got picked up. I think August 9 or something, maybe a game at my old school. Yeah.
You and Hawk.
Yeah.
Are you going to play?
I think so.
What division is this?
They'd be in the A's.
Are you going to win the A's?
I won't play seniors. So.
I would have thought.
No, that's what I'm asking.
Still
like,
going to play
level are
for
you
forward
on?
and kick goals.
So you're going to tell Hawk to
No.
I'll square him on.
No, I'll roam around the midfield.
Okay.
Just got a sore knee.
For 5 minutes.
No, I can run all day. I'll be
shuffle.
fine in there. I just got a sore knee.
You shuffle all
problem.
day. You'll be shuffling.
The only problem's the knee.
Where's this going to be played?
In Melbourne, 9:20 kickoff.
What ground?
Oh, 9:20
Should be
a.m.
a little bit of trouble.
What ground?
I don't know yet.
Because there'd be a few listeners who would like to get down there.
I think there's more than a few listeners. I think there might be some few former teammates that might be coming down. No, but the day before we're having a luncheon on the Friday.
Oh, that'll go well.
Hawks play Collingwood Friday night in a blockbuster.
And then you got to front up.
9:20 kickoff, and I have to be back in Perth Saturday night.
You're going to vomit.
Pull.
You're going to tear a calf and then vomit. I want
Depending how I'm
please someone be there with a camera.
Depending how I'm feeling, I might just do the calf in the warm-up.
Jackson, should Uze get a bit more scrutiny about the way he's dealt with these two particular situations this year? When Bolter said he'd been punished enough before he'd fronted the judge for assault, and for Tom Lynch, it's everyone else's fault for making him angry. I'm all about protecting your players, but give me a break. 2 opportunities for him to say something of substance.
Did the Bolter stuff remind me again? Did the date get moved on them? Wasn't there a hearing date?
It was more, I think, that presser was a disaster.
Yeah, that was a disaster. And the Tom Lynch stuff, I think you still need to protect your player. But they put Tom Lynch up to the media straight away. That's...
We don't know what he was saying in private too. Like Uze might have had a big crack at Tom Lynch.
Well, putting Tom Lynch up on the day is not something you'd usually see from a footy club.
That's a form of punishment, or at least do your time.
Yeah. I'm not answering the questions. You can answer them.
Yeah. Connor, do Hawthorn best Fremantle from the best Fremantle from the coach's box this week?
Beat.
Yeah, but could also be best.
Could also
do they best them?
They best them.
Beat them. Are they better
it's
than
a word.
He might be being fancy. Connor might be being fancy. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
I think he's autocorrect beat to best, to be honest.
Do we think they beat them or best them from the coach's box?
I think we ought to sell the coach's box a bit, to be honest.
So you don't have Mitchell out coaching Longmuir this weekend? No. It's just...
And you got him winning?
What do you think wins this game?
Hey?
Fremantle or Hawthorn?
I think Fremantle.
Depends what Hawthorn's team selection is a bit. I haven't seen where they got any injuries from the other night, but if it's too close to do it, they won't do it. But there are a lot of players are getting rested coming over west at the moment.
Glenn, hi gents, do you believe enough is being done to stop players staging, exaggerating contact, playing for free kicks? This is meant to be a tough sport, and as the years go by, it's becoming more and more like soccer with this stuff. It's disgraceful, unsportsmanlike, and all players, whether they are 300 gamers, debutants, cult heroes, etc., do not need to knock this shit out out of respect to the sport. If not, the fans and indeed themselves. Surely seeing replays of themselves doing this should embarrass them. Do you think it does? In many instances, this act is often counterproductive. If they just cop a small clip or uncomfortable bump, etc., and move the ball to a teammate, etc., they progress quicker. But no, they sook and scrunch up their face, whinging to the umpire, and if they get the free, everything stops, and then they take their time getting up, etc. If they don't get the free, they run the risk of a free against them, or perhaps a ball up, 50-50 ball. Then would coaches, clubs not blame this on their players? Perhaps that's one for X. Love the pod, gents. Best footy content by far. Cheers for covering all teams and trying to discuss different topics within the clubs instead of just the same crap the mainstream media is banging on about. Cheers, Glenn.
We all get frustrated by
Other
the head being thrown back, or maybe carrying on that they were a little bit worse for wear. I still think the game's pretty tough.
Yeah, I don't think there's that. There's not enough of them, a volume of people hamming it up.
But there are the handlers.
Then there's the Jordan Clark accentuating he got smacked in the head and then accentuated it, and then they didn't pay it.
So that's also one. Last year there was a lot of, when the arms were pinned, players were deliberately driving their heads into the ground.
Yeah.
That's sort of dried up a little bit, hasn't it?
Because it was penalised.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah, you got smashed.
Shifted a bit. Mitch, what has happened to Freo's midfield this year, and how has it regressed from last year? Well, I think Hayden Young.
Yeah, Hayden Young not being
is
there.
a big out. Adrian, if you had to choose between Zach Bailey and Cam Rayner, which one would you pick?
Please. Next question.
I'd take Bailey.
Jesus. I'm probably Bailey.
Jeez.
Austin,
Who are you, Nick?
Austin, can Zach Bailey be an All-Australian squad member? He's had an underrated year, or am I just delusional?
He's probably a little bit of delusion there, but he was also, his best is All-Australian level.
It's going to be hard. Jamie Elliott,
Yeah.
Cozzy Pickett.
But he's playing that position we just spoke about yesterday that Harry Sheasel
spot.
can't play.
Yeah.
It's a tough spot.
Tough one.
Zach Bailey's just a young star.
Ski, gentlemen and Nick, with Gov medically retired, Sheed 50-50 retire, or he has now, this must have been written before that, Oscar Allen likely to be traded. That is 3 players not likely to be on this list next year. In the spirit of the game, kiss, marry, kill, who of the following players contracted to the end of 2025 or 2026 season survive, are delisted or traded out? If anyone will take them. Okay, so I'll read them out. Okay.
Yeah.
You say survive, delist, or trade.
So he's from
These are the
literally
Eagles.
November 1 this year.
Yep.
Okay.
Jaden Hunt,
Gone.
as in
Survive.
delist or trade.
The list.
Survive as a
Survive.
depth.
I say he'll survive. Campbell Chesser,
Oh,
Trade/gone.
I think they'll give
Regardless.
one more year. Jack Petrocelli,
Gone.
D-list.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone took a punt on someone quick.
because he's fast.
Yeah.
I'd say delist. Harvey Johnston,
The list probably.
probably delist.
Haven't seen
He's
enough.
got good pace though. Harry Barnett,
A D-list, I
probably
think.
delist at this point.
Or the D.
Tom Cole,
Unfortunately, maybe tap on the shoulder.
Yeah.
yeah, he's not in their best team anymore. Might keep him for depth.
But also a premiership player, and I get that doesn't mean a lot because they're
You
so
leave
far
it to
from it,
him.
but maybe
Does mean
a little bit of
But
experience.
it means a bit when you've got spots.
Yeah, when you got spots.
Brett Bazzo, I'd give him another year.
Yeah, I'd survive.
He's had a terrible.
He's had a
run.
terrible time. You get a year just to
Just one more.
one more clean crack.
Locke Rawlinson, I think.
I don't know who that is.
No, he hasn't shown enough, unfortunately. Jamie Cripps is a big one.
Cripp will have one more year.
Yeah, I
You reckon?
survive.
Yep.
Okay. Cohen Livingston,
Probably
he's a big
D-list
boy. Give him
territory.
another year.
1 year for the big fella.
And Cal
The big
Jamison.
boys just get.
I would not know if they were in my cereal bowl. Some of those boys. I wouldn't know what they look like.
Well, to be fair, your cereal bowl would be squashed and they'd be gigantic. So you'd be
Yeah.
like, are you Cohen
Yeah, a lot of
Livingston?
them.
I'd be the first person I'd say. Yeah, fair call.
Callum Jamison?
He probably gets another, isn't he? Does he
Chow.
know?
Chow.
I love Cal.
How long has he been on there?
It'd just be one like the Harry Edwards. Harry
32.
Edwards will retire soon. And we go, isn't he 21?
Cal Jamison's got 4 kids,
Cal Jamison.
got 3 mortgages. Sorbet weather. Job Shanahan, the greatest forward of all time.
I like Joe Shannon.
He does show a bit. He does show a bit. Tarney, given the quick return of M. Reid, I'm guessing that's Murphy Reid, and his efforts, does Erasmus need to do more?
Well, I think Erasmus has had the opportunity now, and he's just a so-so.
I think the closer we get to the end of the season, I think the higher the chance Neil Erasmus will. Put it this way: we'll know about where Neil Erasmus is going to play his footy next year when Hayden Young returns.
Yeah.
I think Cal Jamison, if he plays next year, is going to his 5th or 6th season.
Yeah,
That's too many for me.
I like Cal.
He's big.
Will.
Jamison held his spot next week's clash against the bottom dwellers Hawthorn, but was dropped after the Eagles lost 142-26, kicking no goals.
Rough. Has there been a better? This is from Will. Has there? Oh, there is another Will.
He must
be
be Melbourne.
Willem.
Willem.
Yeah, he was probably from Victoria or something.
Has there been a better?
Willis or
he's
something like
definitely
that.
not from my
Not
son's
William.
school. That's for sure. Has there ever been a better pure inside mid debut than George Stevens? 8 clearances and 14 score involvements. He was
good, yeah.
But he's one in the VFL. You're looking at this guy's numbers every week. You're going, why are they playing this bloke?
Yeah.
It's just because they're Geelong and they can just do whatever they want.
He'd also be one of those at the draft where all the recruiters go, he's not really power outside the contest or anything.
Just let him cook.
Doesn't have the extra
Not quick.
pace.
the razzle dazzle.
Yeah.
Sometimes good footballers are just good footballers.
Tom, need a shopping list episode for every club.
What do they
I don't
need?
mind that. We tend to do that after this in the bye week or something, don't we?
Something like that. Bye week's generally the
No, bye
over-unders.
week we review the over-unders. Have we done the one this year where we do the throw at the stumps? Like the
With who?
best
did
player
we
in
do
5
that?
years. Did
Maybe
we do
not.
that, Josh?
No, we haven't.
I feel like we've got that up our sleeve too.
I'm just having a mental breakdown. Em's just sent me photos of the boys in Broome. It's just a reminder that it's $5,000 for 4 days.
But the time off.
Nah, I'm getting to the stage now. Cost of living.
It's not.
It's outrageous.
It's outweighing.
It's pissing me
the
off.
freedom.
Pissing me off. Something shocking. My blood is boiling. Anyway, we plough on.
You sit there for 3 days thinking about what you're going to say, and then you walk in the door. Oh, how's the trip?
Oh, nah, I think I might have said something.
Oh, no.
Stefan, when will the Vic media realise WA have stopped bashing Harley and that they are now the problem?
That's true.
This is a bugbear of mine. I keep seeing on shows them talking about Harley being in the spotlight and this fishbowl. And yes, it was very much like that for a very long period of time, and it was way over the top. But I can tell you, the last at least 6 months, probably 12 months, it has cooled right off. All the noise.
Old Kendall wrote an article, remember? Leave Harley alone.
Yeah, and then from over
Leave
there.
Harley alone.
But there was about the East. I was onto this early.
He invites it in himself because we watched everything for 6 months that the East Coast didn't see.
Yeah.
Now he's been theatrical, playing okay-ish.
Yeah, but they've got to stop the narrative that he's going to get driven out of town by the WA media.
Yeah,
that's not the case
okay,
anymore. If anything, they're more critical over there
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Thank you, Stefan. Hayden, the buys are over. One bye week or split round next year, please.
Rhino's been a swear jar.
That was on the list. I had to read it out.
I know.
I know.
Ron Burgundy has to read what's on the paper.
As my old tutor at school used to write my speeches for me, he's now the speechwriter for the Prime Minister. He used to put slipperies in there for me to swear. And he's like, mate, if it's in context, it stands up. So I used to swear during my Year 12 speeches.
Wow.
Yeah.
If it's in context, he wrote it for you.
Wrote them word for word. I didn't even read the books. And then he's like, here's your speech you have
And now
to
he
deliver.
writes for the Prime Minister.
He's a Prime Minister speechwriter.
That's unbelievable.
When the, yeah.
Melbourne
Gramo straight in there, Woody.
Hey.
No,
Got a summer internship in the PM's office.
To be fair, it was his uncle.
No, he worked at Cricket Australia and whatnot. He's brilliant.
Another good job for the
Yeah,
boys.
just straight in there.
Those jobs are all reserved for those guys.
This will get back to the person who does it, and he's an outstanding person, outstanding in everything he does. As good as you get.
CJ Bruno, gents, all I did was ask AI a simple question about improving the fairness in the AFL. Is it far off? Okay, this is Grok, he's asked. How can the AFL be more of a fair competition towards clubs outside Victoria? Explain in a short summary. Okay, I'll try to get through this quickly. The Australian Football League has long, this is what Grok said. The Australian Football League has long been centred in Victoria, where the league originated, leading to structural advantages for Victorian clubs, such as more home games, better access to talent, and stronger fan bases. To make the competition fairer for non-Victorian clubs, several measures could be implemented. 1. Equalised scheduling. Adjust the fixture to ensure non-Victorian clubs have a balanced number of home and away games, reducing travel burdens. This could include more neutral venues or hub-based games during the high travel periods. 2. Draft and salary cap reforms. Strengthen draft concessions for non-Victorian clubs to access local talent, especially in regions like Western Australia and Queensland, where player retention is challenging. Adjust salary cap allowances to account for higher living costs in certain cities. 3. Development funding. Increase investment in grassroots academies and infrastructure for non-Victorian clubs to build stronger talent pipelines, countering Victoria's historical advantage in player development. 4. Travel equalisation. Provide logistical support such as chartered flights for recovery facilities to reduce the physical and mental toll of frequent travel on non-Victorian teams. And 5, media and exposure equity. Ensure non-Victorian clubs receive equal media coverage and primetime game slots to boost their commercial viability and fan engagement.
Well, I like that. Maybe you should just run that through one more time and say, put each of these in one sentence.
Yeah. And the haircut.
Yeah.
You spoke about yesterday. No, but I don't get me wrong, I tuned out, and we probably need to put a cap on how long the questions can be. But I got a fair bit of it. Yeah, I don't mind a fair bit of it.
Yeah, just do it all.
Adam, why does
Send it to
JL take
Dylan.
3 quarters to make any tactical changes?
What was that question?
Why does JL take 3 quarters to make any tactical changes?
Well, he made one at half time with Strong going forward.
Clarkey sent last week, this one. Hey, lads, some optimistic fan thoughts after the Eagles game. This is the Collingwood game. The corner is fast approaching for this team, and we are seeing growth all over the field. I've been impressed with the growth of Edwards and Brock, with McCarthy giving the Eagles more ball-moving options off half back. Up front, you now have Shanahan, Williams, Reid, and Waterman as your key tools, which makes Oscar, though I'm a huge Oscar fan, a bit surplus to a move, suits club and player. This would likely give the Eagles picks 1 and 2, which I think could be Dersma and Duff Tyler, a ball-hunting mid-halfback, and a mobile ruck with huge upside. Continued next page. Here we go.
It's a longie.
Should the Eagles go this way, could they make a play for Zane Dersma at North? Reports are there are some gaps between club and player. Could a first rounder get it done? Next year's pick, Carlton's pick this year would have almost got it done, I reckon, and give the Eagles a mid/mid-back/mid-forward group. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. He loves the pod, Clarkey. What do you think? Hold on. Can you see it, or did some of Nick's special parsley make its way to my omelette this morning?
I think special parsley because they should have lost by 100 on the weekend.
Yeah.
Hey,
This was the Collingwood game.
Yeah, I know, but unfortunately for the email you're reading out, they've played a game since then and they were deplorable. Shanahan's kicking, spectacular.
Yeah.
We're all in.
Max, what sort of carton ratio would X be offering for the Swans to make the finals?
Oh, gee, that'd be a big ratio. I've got them still missing by a fair way. They're 3 games.
He could probably safely go 5 on that one.
Yeah, easily.
But only one.
No, go 2.
Don't know. You're going to offer how many people are you going to do?
He could do 2. He's not going to lose it.
Nah, just keep talking for 1 second. Let me just see where the ladder's doing really quickly. Just keep talking for a minute. I get nervous around McCartons. McCartons, you see what I did then? Yeah, gotcha. I would go one person.
1 bet for 5.
10 cartons to 1.
10 to 1. First one in, and Max gets first right of refusal because he's written it.
Yeah, Max, if you're writing correctly.
So Max, you've got 3 days to respond. If Max doesn't get back, Josh will take the first other person who replies.
Go hardball gets. Go hardball gets.
Go via hardball gets.
Yeah, I do get a lot into my DMs, but maybe go hardball gets. Yeah.
Okay.
But for any other ones, come to me directly because it really depends on what time of night you've got me.
Michael, is Ryan Daniels a nepo baby?
No.
How would I be a nepo baby?
Nepo baby.
He's Rick Arden's illegitimate son.
Yes.
I'm from the streets.
No,
I worked my way up
from the streets.
from Thornley.
Yeah.
How would I be a nepo baby? Neither of my parents ever worked in media, football, or anything.
No, I don't believe that.
There's no trust fund. I'll give you the hot tip. I'll give you the hot tip. Okay, and conspiracy. Last one. Jared. With West Coast starting to hit form, this was sent a week ago, and Richmond waning, Lynch's brain fade was a deliberate ploy by Richmond to try and secure the number 1 pick, take Dersma, and then make a play for Harley Reid in 2 years' time. What do you think?
Oh, the Dersma flip.
Yeah, we like this.
We have been talking about
All
the
the
Dersma
Dersmas,
situation
Dersma
with Harley
flip.
Reid.
Bring him in.
Richmond are 2 in front. They've won 3 games. West Coast maximum will win 1.
Also, can I just put out there all the Dersma theories? How old's Harley?
19?
He's 20.
20.
Are we
Well, you
sure?
got to steal the relationship stage.
Oh, you're not putting a hole through his love.
They're not married.
You are not putting a hole through the
Wow.
love. Jeez, it does get awkward if they split and all 3 Dersmas.
This is what
Maybe
I'm
it blows
saying.
the joint up.
That's what I'm saying. This could have the reverse impact. Now, maybe they'll be in love forever. Maybe this is
Happy
Romeo and
ever
Juliet,
after.
Taylor Swift vibes.
I shall drink thy poison for the love thy
Correct.
share.
Or, in 6 months, they hit
He
the
wasn't
skids.
writing everything for you. You were taking something.
That's a made-up quote. I've made it up, and it got ticked
Sounded
off.
Shakespearean.
My teacher, who was auditing Shakespeare, didn't even know whether the quotes were true or false, and I just made a few up, and they all got ticked off.
Starting to get concerned about Melbourne Grammar's integrity.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wasn't
this
Melbourne
episode
Grammar,
was
that
brought to you by Woodside NG, a proud major sponsor of the Fremantle Football Club, supporting local footy from grassroots to greatness.